So week 3 video here, we have the Embiid Gate scandal. Shook the league, really changed Adrian and I's relationship greatly as I got a 1 point victory over him, which I think, as I heard in the chat, happened as Embiid was awarded his 50 points despite not playing in the final game, right? That's how it works. If you have a guy who's in and his final game is a no-show, it takes the previous game's points, right? I knew that I was going to get the 50, just didn't know that I was going to win the matchup as a result by 1 point. A crazy result. So, not the way you draw it up, but a win is a win, even though 358 came in as a pretty low score this week. One, two, I guess fifth worst, so it wasn't horrible, but not the kind of point total you're going to see winning many playoff games, that's for sure. So there was that result. We had the D-Rose tribute band dropping 431, kind of out of nowhere. They'd had a rough start. Former champ is back, handing Derek his third straight loss despite a good point total. Dubsy Dimes, JW gets the win despite only scoring 344, and it was against Jay, who I think had looked really strong point-wise, led the league through 2 weeks, I believe. So even though it was a low total, JW advances to 2-1. Nate drops 465, looking like a real favorite, beating Duran by almost 100 points, sending Duran down to 1-2. We've got Tony falling to 0-3 now as Mahogany Teakwood off to a 2-1 start after missing the playoffs just barely last year. And then we have Nico Harrison dropping 422, beating Ants Killers by 100. So not a lot of nail biters this week except for Adrian and I. Here's a look at the updated standings. We have 3 teams at 3-0. Although one of them is clearly a tier above, having scored 1310, with Nico Harrison at 1197 and me at 1106. That's pretty crazy. A lot of teams have scored more than me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of the other 11 teams have outscored me on the season, and I am 3-0 nonetheless. That's pretty crazy. I want to look at the recap from Sleeper. Take a look. We had Josh Giddey with 83, Mitchell with 57. That's shooting guard and small forward maxes at 50s. It's crazy low. Giannis at 74 is pretty low for the power forward, weekly best, and Joker at 95.5. So in my matchup, Adrian had 4 top picks and 1 worst pick. I had 1 top pick and 5 worst picks, so I got the worst manager award. Still got the win. Derek was 3-3. D-Rose tribute band 3-1. JW 2-3. Red Shot 2-2. Props to Nate for 4 top picks and no worst picks. Avoiding the worst picks is just as important as hitting the good ones. So no wonder he did really well. Let's look at the actual max points here. This is all 12 of us. So you can see that Nate, Brandon, Bo all had really similar maxes. Nate was a little bit more efficient than the other 2. Also, Mahogany Teakwood had a lot of points potentially, right? 511. But not good efficiency. Really, all the rest of us did not have great efficiency until you get all the way to the bottom. When Red Shot and Killers had good efficiency, they just didn't have any firepower. So, interesting to see. Again, I feel like Nate is kind of taking the reins as maybe the top dog right now. Bo and I are 3-0, but we don't really feel like good, dominant 3-0 kind of teams. The points are a little bit low compared to where you'd want to be. Well, actually, Bo's points are right about where you should be. My points are low. I should separate myself as not a particularly great 3-0 team, I think, if you want to be fair. It's really late already, so I know this is super short. I'm not really going into any detail. I'd have to really like dig into people's rosters and stuff to kind of like talk about how things are going if we really wanted to dig deeper. But right now, this week, we can at least look at the matchups. We've got 3-0 me against 2-1 JW. We've got, oh, I'm sorry, that's the following week. Let's just look at the league matchups here. So me versus JW, 0-3 Derek versus 3-0 Nate. Derek's off to a hot start. Did he hit the Cade game tonight? He did. Oh man. Derek gets 113.5 from Cade Cunningham. Incredible. But damn though, Nate gets 59.5 from Khan. Unexpected there. Derek's got the cover athlete for this week's thumbnail, Russell Westbrook, who has jumped in a time machine and is putting up big numbers. Yeah, that Cade line. Let's look at what that Cade line was. 44 minutes, 46 points, 12 rebounds, 11 assists, 5 steals, and 2 blocks. Golly, I saw he had like 45 shot attempts too. Disgusting. Against Washington. They couldn't get the job done against Washington without 45 shot attempts from Cade. I think that's right. Let me look just to be sure. Can I scroll over on this? No, I guess I can't. I don't know what my phone's trying to do right now. Wow, that's wild. But honestly, Khan getting 59.5. I mean, it's not 110, but that's pretty freaking amazing. Wow. Khan is freaking killing it. Wish I hadn't traded him away in my other league. Kind of. We got the Field Ops rivals here. Got Matt versus Adrian. Matt's favored to win, looks like, based on projections. We've got D-Rose Tribute Band versus Nico Harrison. Red Shot and Stat King. And then Ants Killers and T. Ruiz. So someone will be 0-4. That's not exactly a death sentence, but you're not likely to make the playoffs if you start 0-4. So that's a big game already for these two teams if either of them want to contend. Other than that, man, I think I'm going to leave it at that for now. I'll probably try to get more into it next week. It's just really late. Maybe do some more digging into kind of how certain guys are doing. It'd be fun to get someone else on here too. I just want to talk basketball with someone. That's probably what we'll try to do for the next one. So I'm going to leave it at that, and we'll do another one next week.